do 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 la 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 la. Anine, bonjour. And yes, I forgot to put my music stand over here with my script and everything. All right. So, Anine, bonjour. Catherine M. Thompson, Indigenous Gawin in da Kendazin, in Dudam, St. Thomas, Ontario, and Dunjaba, Megwa Burlington, and Dinda. Indikinu amage igo anishnobimon nungo. So my name is Catherine Thompson, Catherine M. Thompson. I'm a singer-songwriter and poet, and this is Cat's Meow coming to you live from the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the Six Nations of the Grand River, as well as traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Nation, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat Confederacies, and the lands of many other Indigenous people who passed through and called, or still call, this land their home. This territory is part of the Dish with One Spoon Treaty, an agreement between the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and allied nations to peaceably share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. In making this statement, I acknowledge and honor that these lands carry the truth of the lives that were taken and the agreements that were broken, and the wisdom of ancestors whose spirits live on in the soil, animals, and vegetation. In stepping on this land, we seek both permission and forgiveness from these ancestors with the agreement that we have the responsibility to honor and to respect all who are here now and all who have yet to come, recognizing that in many ways these lands remain restricted from teachings, resources, and development in partnership with Indigenous people. And we're grateful for the opportunity to live on, to receive gifts from, to work on, and to benefit from this land. I want to acknowledge that, it's coming to you live. I'm coming to you live via eCam to YouTube. And there is also an event page in Facebook. I might talk a little bit more about that later. I also want to acknowledge that this is Indigenous History Month, and also I stand with Ukraine. But today, the important thing is one of the important things, because it's a crazy packed month, is Indigenous History Month. And because of that, I'm going to start off with my poem, Chronological Genealogy. Now, I grew up with the understanding that my mother she didn't speak French anymore, but she still understood it. And my grandparents still spoke French to each other. I just have to adjust things a bit here. There we go. Hey, Susan. Good to see you. So our understanding growing up was that, we were French back to Champlain, and I'll talk about that in the poem. But what I wasn't aware of, and none of us were aware of, and who knows whether my mother was aware of it, but at any rate, her ancestry was not just French. It was also deeply Aboriginal, I should say Indigenous, because on her father's side, it was Ojibwe Anishinaabe, and on her side, I believe that it is fully Métis. However, the traditions were lost or put aside or not practiced for safety reasons, all kinds of things. So we're just kind of getting back to that a little bit now, and part of that was my Ojibwe beginner Ojibwe class that I took this spring. So this is my poem, Chronological Genealogy. Colonized and colonizer, this is my chronological genealogy. I am Ojibwe Anishinaabe, Garden River First Nation, through great-grand-mère and grand-père, Melatim Hula Pierre Cadet. I am French through Louis Hebert, apothecary to Champlain, who planted the first domestic wheat in North America on a farm outside of Fort Quebec. I am descended from Coureur de Bois, Jean Nicolet, through his daughter Marguerite from his Nipissing country wife, name unknown, although they were together for 9 years. I am of the Acadie. Antoine Hébert was he who fled the British expulsion in 1755 from Nova Scotia into Quebec. I am Germanic, through my father's forebears Wilhelm and Katrinka Schaefer, who left what is now Austria and sailed under British protection to farm land in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I am UEL, United Empire Loyalist, through Schaefer's sons, who fought with Butler's Rangers in the War of Independence, expelled to trek to a homestead in Ancaster in 1795, where they anglicized their name to Shaver. And my forefather Almas, Prussian mercenary, who escaped a POW camp in the American Revolution and made his way north to a new homestead in Ancaster Town. I am Métis of the 1828 exodus from Drummond Island with the British garrison to Fort Ste. Marie. Baptiste Bruno and Pierre-André dit Saint-Amand among them, Odile Saint-Amand, and Jean-Baptiste Bruno, my great-grandparents, Franco-Ontarian me. I am Scottish from 1874 when great-great-grandmother Catherine Mary Thompson crossed to wed the Ancaster McNiven in her wedding gown of silk, which I wore when I wed in 1967, a man of Scottish, Irish, and English descent. And with our children, who are all of these, we colonized and colonizer. This is my chronological genealogy. So I thought that was a good time to share that. I do that every once in a while. It's been a fascinating journey to really begin. I mean, I was always fascinated from the time I was 12 years old with genealogy, but it just was getting the indigenous part of myself recognized by the government and being granted status. It was like this amazing missing jigsaw puzzle piece, just coming down and fitting right in, and it's great. And my younger cousins and and nieces and so forth, the generation below me, they have many more years ahead of them, and they're doing an incredible job of searching out this genealogy and of adapting some of the traditions. So Susan, you may be the only one here right now. I had hoped I had set up the live chat properly on, but anyway, it's lovely to have you here, my dear. So today I decided to do a piece about the night, and I should mention that, and I don't have it at hand, but I don't have the Ojibwe name for the month at hand, but this is the strawberry moon in June, and it certainly is. I got my first local strawberries at the farmer's market last week. Made the most amazing strawberry rhubarb crisp, which you can find if you search it on, I think it's Ben and Birdie, like Ben and Birdie like a bird, or Birdie and Ben. I'm never sure which way it goes, but it's a fantastic one. So tomorrow I will be going back and getting some more strawberries. But it's also the month of weddings, and in fact I have a photo up of my wedding dress, as that many of you have seen, and that part of the poem where I talk about the Catherine Mary Thompson without a P, who made the trek from Scotland to Ancaster to wed the McNiven, who was in Ancaster. And this was the dress, and my grandmother totally surprised me with it. I had never seen it before. And when we were deciding what to do for the wedding, she said, "Catherine, come in here, come into my room." And she brought me in, she brought out this box, and she said, "I was wondering if you'd be interested in wearing this." And it fit me perfectly. I did not have to do anything. Now, this photograph was taken at the Black Creek Pioneer Village in Toronto because Mom had taken it to a history dry cleaners, and a woman who was doing a whole piece on vintage clothing and wedding. Well, I don't think it was wedding, but just vintage things. She was doing a piece for the July 1st issue of the Star Weekly, which was a magazine that went with the Toronto Star at that time. And she saw this dress, and she was like, I must have that picture. I must have the dress for the picture. And my mom, being the generous person that she was like, okay. And then she told me about it, and I was like, no, nobody can wear that. They're going to pin it and do all sorts of terrible things with it. And so, and I was okay doing it because, of course, I was getting married on June the 3rd, and this was not coming out until July the 1st. So, Mom, we went to see this woman and said, yeah, so here's the thing. We're not going to allow you to take the dress. If you want the dress, I have to be in it. And so I went up to Pioneer Village, and it was hilarious. So we'll do her first because we've got all of these expensive models sitting around getting their hair done and stuff. And the photographer and I had a great time together, and I loved the picture and got the glossy print of it and stuff. And so anyway, that's the story. That's the story of that. But what is really neat about this being, I'm doing the things about the night, is because I also wrote a song for our 50th wedding anniversary 5 years ago, which tells the story of the night that we met and various other things that are tied to the night. It's called Dancing at the Stork Club, and it's never been recorded. But anyway, we like it. It's kind of the family song, one of the family songs. Aboard the LNPS to Port Stanley, summertime at its best, sunning on the sand, diving under the waves, dancing at the Stork Club at the end of the day. The first time that we met, I was not yet 16. The night was dark, the fires were low. We watched the beach, I watched him throw a log of burning embers to the sky, which left a trail of starlight as it fell into the lake to softly die. And his deep voice sent shivers through me, speaking of the curve in space, Einstein's theory times continuum. Even though I could not see his face, I fell in love. We aboard the LNPS to Port Stanley, summertime at its best, sunning on the sand, diving under the waves, dancing at the Stork Club at the end of the day. The second time we met, when I was past 16, the day was bright, your friend too bold. I walked away, you watched me go, then found a telephone to call my home, which left a trail of starlight. When you asked me to the dance, our love was born, and your deep voice sent shivers through me. Even though you could not see my face, you fell in love. For over 50 years they've told their story, a night of glory, a summer love, of how your voice sent shivers through me. Even though I could not see your face, we fell in love. Aboard the LNPS to Port Stanley, summertime at its best, sunning in the sand, diving under the waves, dancing at the Stork Club. We go dancing at the Stork Club, and we'll be dancing at the Stork Club till the end of our days. We fell in love, a summer love. Anyway, so what's happened there was originally I had like he and she, and then one of the mentors said to me, no, you can go, you should make it you and I. So I kind of did half and half there. I kept, going back to the old form. And it's been reworked a few times, and who knows, maybe sometime I will, I'll record it just, maybe just for the family. But Anyway, that's the story. And I have to say that I really couldn't see his face because it was so dark. There was no moon that night. And I'm a dancer, so I have a Saturday night class till 8 o'clock in London, Ontario, and driving all the way back through my hometown down to port and finding the site. All the fires had burned down. You could barely see people sitting around it. I was with a friend, a neighbor, and we walked with him and with my new interest and his girlfriend or his date along the beach, and everything happened as I said. And then he actually called and said, do you want to go out? But I was going away for a week to be a helper at a cub camp. And I called Susan, who's on, and said, guess who called? Oh my God, and she said, well, do you think he'll call again? And I said, yeah, but, probably with his little black book, it'll be like 6 months from now. Friday, December the 13th was our first date. So that's kind of fun. And I had met him, of course, after that, and so he knew who I was. At any rate, interesting stories. So you may be the only one here today, Susan. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Means I won't have many people to talk to, but I'll talk to you. So this is on YouTube again today, but I had a week of really long appointments, and so I still haven't got Restream working, but I did make an event page, as I mentioned, in Facebook just today. Mind you, it was just today that I did it. But we're on my YouTube channel, which I believe I have here. That's what it looks like. And so if you go there, the same link that brought you to this live will take you then to the video afterwards. And all of my Monday lives and my Cat's Meows are in my YouTube channel. I'm not sure how organized they are, but they are there. And so that's what that one looks like. And the rest of June, by the way, we should be back on Mondays without any problem. It was just this week there was one big long appointment after another. So it was unavoidable, I'm afraid. And so how about a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night after the Stork Club? We can get to the shot of whiskey and people dancing and things like that. And again, it's a Saturday night, so that'll be fun. By the way, all my songs are available on all the platforms, so you can add them to your library, you can playlist them, you can download them, you can purchase them, and definitely share them, please. They're so helpful. Let's see, I have to have a bit of a hunt for this because I didn't get a chance to play it before. And according to this, it was March when I did it last time. I can hardly believe that, and I don't even know if it's in March. It's in February. I must have done. Oh, you know what? I think I played the video. That's what I'm thinking of. But this is just going to be me. And here we go. Oh, I have to take it off this. Wait. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is playing some of their favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. Another round, I won't put up a fight. Another whiskey on a Saturday night. Shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Monday to Friday, it's a daily grind. Go to church on Sunday when we rest and pray. There goes the weekend before Saturday. Hey, the only time we can do it upright. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davey is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is pumping out our favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. Another round, I won't put up a fight. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. A bartender? I'd have a whiskey. Hello, Jack. A sippin' whiskey, I don't knock it back. A perfect Jack Daniels Manhattan straight up. Oh, that's what I call a lovin' cup. A chaser for beer, or is beer the chaser? A boiler maker? I'll bring that bottle over here and pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Another round, I won't put up a fight. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davy is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. Go, Chris. Pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Woohoo! That is so much fun. So much fun. And this, by the way, because I really truly cannot have any until Saturday night, is actually, I believe it's an orange spiced tea. It is, and it's very, very good. So, yeah, shot of whiskey, that's a lot of fun. And that's, of course, on my Wildcat album. Speaking of, sites and so forth and so on, there's my website banner. Now, it's hard to see over here, but there is the store right up in the top, a second from the right. And if you click on the store, you're going to see my CDs and the prices and the different bundles and so forth. But there's an announcement at the bottom about the mugs that Marianne suggested. And so I'm going to put up a couple of pictures of what the designs are like. And this, of course, is the artist who did the cover for She's a Wildcat as well. Oh gosh, where is it here? Oh, here we go. So this is one that's taken from the full band, the old band picture that I showed you last week. So this will be a wrap all the way around, and there's more to it than that. It's just that it goes way out past the screen size here, and so that wraps around from the handle is in the white part, and then it wraps all around from there. She took a photo of my dad, a photo portrait that was done of him when he was 18, and she kind of pulled the figure out of the band and did it like that. And then there's a second one, which is the Swing Daddy mug, and it'll be just a white mug with the black lines and the image of Swing Daddy playing this. So I'm very excited about it, and I'll tell you what's happened. So instead of, like last week I was talking about you could pre-order them. Don't do that, because I have Marianne already has. So I'm going to work that out with her. But what's going to happen is this. I have a print-on-demand place that was recommended to me by the artist. And it also, interestingly enough, I sort of put that question out to one of the big mentor group, the Female Academy group. And one of my mentors came right back. She said, oh, well, Printful, does it. I hear it's pretty good. And that's the exact one that I'm using. So the glitch is I've got this place that will print on demand. I've got my website with my store in it. But you can't make a direct connection from that website store, that website in Bandzoogle and the store. So what I have to do is set up a store in in Printful, or that they do have a connection with. So something like, if Etsy is one of them, but I'm not going to use Etsy. But there'll be one, and then so when you click on the link, my understanding is that if you click on the mug, you can, or it will then go to that particular store, and you will be able to order it, and then that order, the cost will be all told. It'll be everything all in. The cost of the mug and the cost of the shipping. There won't be a shipping charge and nothing. And I don't have to have a whole bunch of merchandise. I'm still going to get about 10 of them so I can, give them to people. And because I have no idea when I'm going to be able to have live shows, people. I'm sort of stuck online for the duration, I'm afraid. So anyway, I'm excited about that. That's going to be my first merchandise besides the CDs, yeah. And so I will post the store link as early as tomorrow if I can get it done tonight, and away we'll go. Okay. So because you have the night, you have the moon, you have the stars. He threw a log of burning embers to the sky and left a trail of starlight. But there's also the moon up there, which is a wonderful thing. So I'm going to call this my moon suite. I'm going to do 3 pieces: a poem and one of my songs and a cover for you. So here we go. And this is a little out of season because we're talking about I think it's, I'm not sure if it does a winter lawn. Yeah, so it's winter, but big deal, We get bright moons in the summer as well. I'm just drinking that because I needed to wet my whistle. The moon is like a hammock strung between 2 stars tonight. A sliver bright, a silver light. It throws our shadows far across the winter lawn, sometime between the setting of the sun and dawn. And I say only, oh, look at the moon. It's like a hammock strung between 2 stars. Its bright light throws our shadows far across the lawn, sometime between the setting of the sun and coming dawn. And this poem is about nothing save the moon, the slivered moon, the silvered moon, the sister moon that I love. Well, I wrote a song, and it was the first song that was ever professionally recorded. It was recorded in, I think, around 2004 by a group called Sister Loon from Niagara. And if you look them up, it's small case Sister, capital L-U-N-E, all one word. And they were doing an album called Many Moons, and they accepted Little Boat Moon. And in fact, they made it, I agreed that they could add an ending, a sort of tag on the end, and they made it their signature song. And it was played on CBC Radio, and I got other, that's what got me into SOCAN. So that was great. I got a few royalties from it. Now, the other thing about Little Boat Moon is that I decided I really, really wanted to be able to play it. And I started out after I retired in 2012. In 2011, I retired. And in 2012, I bought a ukulele, a little green ukulele. And I began to take ukulele classes from a woman called Judy Marshak, who's brilliant. She's an actor. She's a singer. She is also an amazing, amazing ukulele player. So I went and but it was an inexpensive little ukulele. It was hard to keep it in tune. So I treated myself at some point and bought this beautiful Fender ukulele, and it was lovely. And I began to take classes through the senior center here with a guy who's he's a great musician, and his name is Mark Gunn, and he taught us tons of chords and stuff. I still was a little nervous about ever actually using it for performing, but I was getting, so I could actually play it. And then the rheumatoid arthritis struck, and I cannot chord properly anymore at all. and it kills my wrist to be twisting it like this. So there it sits, and my grandson's birthday is coming up next week. I thought about giving it to him because he mentioned to me he might want to try playing ukulele again next fall. However, we're going with something else. But sometime when I'm visiting with him this summer, or even in September, I'm going to say, listen, I have this beautiful ukulele. If you decide you want to take classes, I will lend it to you. That is to say, you take this ukulele and the carrier and everything else. And if you decide at some point you don't want to take classes anymore, or that it just isn't for you, or you don't like playing it, then it comes back to me, because I don't want it just going somewhere being sold in a street, like in a bazaar or something. I want it back. But in the meantime, this is my song, and it's called Little Boat Moon. And it's I was actually inspired by a sickle moon. Let's go floating on our little boat moon, set the sail by its star. It'll carry us away through the stars, oh so far, far away, oh so far, so far. It'll carry us away, oh so far. While we're sailing on our little boat moon, my fingers trailing through the blue, I'll be whispering as we go along, I love you, yes I do, oh I do, love you true. I'll be whispering, I love you, I do. My heart is dancing on the deck of the moon, while you're romancing me by crooning a tune. We're up in heaven, but it's over too soon. Sail away on our little boat moon. Sail away on our little boat moon. Sail away on our little boat moon. The owl and the pussycat set to sea. If they could do it, why shouldn't we? The stars are watching us and waiting to see us sail away on our little boat moon. Sail away on our little boat moon beneath the starlight. Sail away on our little boat moon. Ta-da! Such a fun song. I'm actually thinking that I may get to the point sometime of I'm not recording right now, but I have that song and I have a couple of others that I think would maybe make a little 3-part, just a 3-song EP for kids. And so we'll see. That'll be in the distant future, doing the store thing now. Well, I hope you're still there, Susan. Let's see. I went and looked for this song. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water. We're doing pretty good here as far as tree pollen goes. We have walnut. They're almost like catkins, they're like a tassel that falls down, gets everywhere, all over the car, all over everything outside, and stains things brown, which is kind of why I don't have an outdoor clothesline. But anyway, why did I start talking about that? I don't know. Anyway, this is By the Light of the Silvery Moon. So I pulled it up, and I got the lyrics, and I thought, oh, that's weird. I don't remember that part at all, because I only remember the singy bit. But I listened to Doris Day and Gordon McRae, and they sang this together in By the Light of the Silvery Moon, and it's a kind of a 1953 musical, but it's like set. It's like an era, a drama, where you have people in certain clothing and everything. And I think this is supposed to be, early in the 20th century, and her dad was a songwriter. So it's The Light of the Silvery Moon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read those parts of the song that are like text. It's very interesting because it's almost talking, which is really unusual, kind of a spoken word part each time. But you'll know this song, I'm sure. By the light of the silvery moon, I want to spoon to my honey, I'll croon love's tune. Honeymoon, keep a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love's dreams. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon. Place, park, scene, dark. Silvery moon is shining through the trees. Cast 2, me, you. Summer kisses floating on the breeze. Act 1, be done. Dialogue, where would you like to spoon my cue with you underneath the silvery moon by the light of the silvery moon? I want to spoon to my honey, I'll croon love's tune. Honeymoon, keep a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love's dreams. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon. Act 2, scene new. Roses blooming all around the place. Cast 3, you, me, preacher with a solemn face. Choirs sing, bells ring. Preacher, you are read forevermore. Act 2, all through. Every night the same encore. By the light, not the dark, but the light of the silvery moon. Not the sun, but the moon. I want to spoon, not croon, but spoon. To my honey, I'll croon love's tunes. Honeymoon, 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 keep a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love's dreams. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon. By the silvery moon. Isn't that a fun song? I mean, it's like, it was probably, I didn't get down the names of the writers. I should have done that, but they weren't on the lyric sheet. So it's so funny, because you'll see by Doris Day, but that means she's a singer. Doesn't mean she wrote it. So it was written and probably for the musical, but who knows? It may have been written, the musical may have been about an actual writer back in the day and sort of Tin Pan Alley. So I don't know those things, but anyway. So, yeah, you can contact me at info@CatherineMThompson. You know what? This is so weird. These things get below. Okay. So my website is as https : they put the S in, guys, because that makes it secure. And you can join my email list on there. Please do if you haven't yet. You can contact me through info@CatherineMThompson.com if you want to send me, if you want to do an e-transfer for anything, and or paypal.me/CatherineMThompson. And I just left the Monday in there because for the rest of the month, we will be going on Monday, I believe. So I'm going to do my final song is going to be Swing Daddy, which is has been a theme between Mother's Day and Father's Day, and Father's Day isn't actually for another 2 Sundays. So I'll sing it again next week, and maybe the day after Father's Day as well. Swing Daddy is I'll use some of the photos. I just have to see which ones I have on here. All right. Okay, I got them up. Let's see. I have to do this. Top.
Swing daddy, swing, swing daddy, swing daddy, swing.
Daddy was a bassman in a swing band. In those dirty 30s, dark depression days, They played dance halls in Hamilton, Muskoka dance pavilions. He played that up right at the old Palais.
Swing, daddy, swing.
His bass rode high up on the band car rooftop. And late one night the wind was blowing fierce. It threw his case into the ditch, smashed that fiddle all to bits, and Daddy waved goodbye to his career.
Swing, daddy, swing.
The 30s taught Daddy's rock. Make good with what you got. You can do what you have to do to see it through. If you swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Daddy, swing. Thump that rhythm, dance all night and day.
Swing, daddy, swing, swing, daddy.
Swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Daddy, swing. Play that bass and chase those blues away. So Daddy took the reins up on a bread truck, delivered to the store that Mama ran. She'd been out dancing with her pals, heard him swing those big dance halls. He bought a book of matches and love began. And Daddy drove the railway locomotives all up and down the New York Central line, while Mama cooked and Mama sewed. They built up a loving home, half a dozen children strong and fine.
Swing, daddy, swing.
Swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Daddy, swing. Thump that rhythm, dance all night and day.
Swing, swing, daddy.
Swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Daddy, swing. Play that bass and chase those blues away. Well, in the end, he was a labor leader. When he was 62 at a railroad union due, they let him sit in for a set. Daddy hadn't lost it yet. He played that bass the way he used to do. That's Malcolm Connors sitting in for Daddy. Well, now you've heard the story of our family, and every single word of it is true. Daddy was a bass man, playing in a swing band, and Daddy, we're so glad Mama swung with you. Hey, 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 swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Mama, swing. Thump that rhythm, dance all night and day.
Swing, swing, daddy.
Swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Mama, swing. Play that bass and chase those blues away. Play that bass, chase those blues. Play that bass and chase those blues away.
Swing, daddy, swing, swing, daddy.
Swing, Daddy, swing, swing, Daddy. Swing, Daddy, swing, swing, Daddy, swing. Swing, Daddy, swing. Well, that's it for today, guys. And thank you so much, Susan, for your kind remarks. And I hope that a bunch of people get to see this. They're all obviously going to have to watch afterwards. Oh, American Cece, you're here. Wow, you just got home and glad I caught a little bit of the show. Well, I'm right at the end, Cece, but you know what? In just a couple of minutes, when you click that link, it'll go straight to the video on YouTube and you'll be able to watch the whole thing. So that's great. I got to go now, guys. So see you next Monday. I will be back Monday. Bama P. And I'll see you later. Lovely to see you, Cece and Susan.